Alright, 30 degrees Fahrenheit, 30. Mileage is 28135. So last night, actually, did a report, oral presentation in my workplace communications class. And what my report was on, oddly enough, is Harley Davidson, which is what I ride. It is my choice of bike. No matter what people might think of them, some people like them, some people don't, but if you read up on the history, you would try to respect them a little more after seeing what kind of humble beginnings they come from. I mean, figure this bike model, well, not this bike, but Harley Davidson itself was thought up basically and built in the basement of a person's house. William Harley and Arthur Davidson, they grew up together. They built, their own bicycles and stuff. And one day he dreamed of building something like that. And William Harley, in about 1901, came up with the. He actually got his hands on a design of the Delphi motor, so they called it. And so they started making their design for their own motorcycle. And in 1903, they made that motorcycle. Actually, they made one earlier than that, but it didn't last up, so they went back to the drawing board and straightened up the frame and stuff. They wanted to build a bike with durability, is what it was. And that's what they actually founded their bikes on. They said they might not be as cheap as other people's bikes. At the time, they were quite expensive. I want to say a couple $100, which is a lot back then for a motorcycle, but they said that their bikes were made on the fact of durability. They put all their bikes through rigorous tests, it would last. And that was the whole point of their bikes. It might cost more, but the durability was there, unlike the other cheaper bikes. So in 1903, they made their first Harley. In 1904, they sell it in Chicago, if I'm not mistaken. And actually, the first dealership for Harley Davidson was in Chicago, Illinois. Interesting point. And so they're off and running. And, I'm not going to go through the whole story. You guys can look it up, I'm sure. But so many dates and go. I mean, it's an interesting company. In 1937, they went union. They fought. The founders fought it. There were 4 founders. 3 of them were Davidson, and 1 was a Harley. To this day, no one really knows why the name is Harley Davidson instead of Davidson Harley, because there was more brothers on Davidson's side. But, they figured probably because it sounded better. I might do another video and actually go a little more in depth on this if any of you guys want me to. I mean, it might be boring if you don't drive a Harley, of course. It might be big time boring, but for those that know what to do, maybe you'll find out a little more than maybe you didn't know, a little more of the history of the bike itself, and the fact of how many founders, how they went by the way of no longer being alive. The ending temp, 31.6. Mileage, 28148. Get a good angle on that goddamn thing. $28148. I hope you can read that. Good enough.